I just saw a cool video from Aaron Doty. I think that's how you say his name. And it just brought up some things that I've always noticed in my own life, and kind of presented them in a way that's accessible. He was also talking about the gateway process, which is an amazing CIA document that everyone should read. Proves a lot of esoteric stuff, and how in that document they talk about issues regarding manifesting and the source, and using gateway process, which is kind of like a binaural beats type of thing, and how you can get to this state of consciousness where then you can manifest anything you want. But I want to get into certain things that were addressed and boil things down into not just wanting to manifest things. What's most important is to not manifest what you don't want. In a similar way where I say the spiritual path isn't doing anything, it's undoing. And then once you start undoing and undoing, everything starts getting better because you're getting more to the source of who you are, which is divine or, magical. So you don't add sugar on top of crap. You don't put sugar on shit, as they say. You gotta get rid of the shit. That's more important than putting a layer of sugar around it, okay? Which is what a lot of people are doing on different levels. And that's why they're not getting results. So, first of all, the reason why we don't get what we want, we don't manifest what we want, and we often are manifesting what we don't want, actively manifesting what we don't want, is we don't believe it. We don't believe, they say like feel rich, wake up in the morning and go to sleep at night actually is probably more powerful. And you think you feel rich, but you're just doing it on the outer level. Again, you're just putting sugar on the shit. The sugar of being rich, feeling rich, being rich. Right now, I am rich. But it's just, it's a facade. You don't feel it deep down. Deep down, you feel like shit and not sugar. Not the sugar. Deep down at your core. And so that's the first thing. The second thing, which is related, is resistance. We have all these resistances, and that's why I go back to undoing and not focusing on manifesting, but focusing on being more equanimous, meditate, don't think so much, don't react so much as possible. Don't get caught up in the swinging back and forth of feeling good, feeling bad, feeling good, feeling bad. Oh, I feel really rich today. Oh, I feel like I'm back, swinging back this way, and it's just this crazy, like schizophrenic kind of way of being, and it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. You don't just swing back and forth from the extremes. You try to get to the center. And then, even if you're not doing any manifesting practices, just being in the center more is going to manifest. It's going to manifest things you want in your life. But then, sure, you can add all this other stuff first. But more importantly, you just find center, relax, don't think so much, don't get in these emotional mood swings. Center yourself emotionally, center yourself mentally. And that's what I intuitively always thought. Like, I don't want to manifest anything. I just want to remove all of these mood swings and swing emotionally and then mentally swinging back and forth. I want to just find center, and then that alone will do a lot more than all of these manifestation practices. And then from that point, you can do manifestation practices, and you're gonna be in a place to really be more powerful and do more powerful things, and with quicker results. Now, so then, yeah, so the second one was resistance. And then the third one, which is also, they're all related, is Aaron Doty brought up this book that I never read that he said was really cool called Transurfing. I forget what it's called. Something, Reality Transurfing, I think it's called, something like that. So in there's something called pendulums, and basically from what I got out of it, it's, and funny because swinging back and forth, right? Pendulums. It's talking, and this is what I was just talking about too. It's about duality. The nature of reality that we live in is a duality, and so the only way you can not get caught up in the duality is swinging to the extremes is to just find your center again. So, but this is really powerful to know. Pendulums, I hardly understand what they mean, but from what he was talking about, it's basically where you put your energy, where you put your thoughts, where you put your emotions especially, that's feeding whatever you're putting your thoughts and emotions into, including if you are against something. And so that's why the news with heroes and villains, like Donald Trump being a villain, Saddam Hussein being a villain, like I was just addressing that in the video I posted about the news media. So from what I got out of it is, when you're on either extreme, you are feeding what you don't want. Because, all right, put it this way. So if you really, really don't like Donald Trump, you're helping him in this reality. When you give energy to somebody or something, you are making it stronger. So, back to this back and forth. Pendulums, it makes sense it's called pendulums because the duality. If you really, really love something, I don't know how that would work. I guess, well, if you love something, obviously you're feeding it. But if you really, really hate something and dislike something, you're feeding it as well. So the duality, both sides. And back to why you need to get out of that game of the extremes and find center. And the only way you cannot feed something you don't want to feed is to it's not to dislike it. Contrary to what you think, when you dislike something, you're helping it. When you dislike someone, you're helping them. You're feeding them. Quite literally too, they're getting energy from you. But the best thing is to find center and just ignore it. Hate is a form of love. Dislike is a form of liking. So keep that in mind. And so also, pendulums also regards everything, like what paradigms do you feed into that are negative? You know, Christians aren't going to like this, but when you think about end times and you're either really afraid of end times or for whatever reason really like end times, you're feeding that. Both of you. So when you don't want something, when you're afraid of something, when you're angry at something, you're feeding it and you're making it stronger and more likely for it to happen. We all do this, you know, so we all have archetypes that are negative. Not archetypes, paradigms. We all have paradigms that are negative. But keep in mind, and this is the other thing about the pendulums, the dangerous ones are the ones that many people believe in because there's power in numbers. So think of all the people in the world, think of all the Christians and Catholics that believe in the end times, believe the end times are now, believe that it's, I mean, sure, they believe that they were going to be okay because they're Christian or Catholic, but you're feeding this paradigm. And the more people, the millions of people that believe in it, is making the paradigm much stronger, and where you will be overcome by it. So this is the key. A paradigm that you believe in, that more people believe in, the more people believe in, which are, whether it's hundreds of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, billions of people, the more people believe in it, if you tag onto that, you're going to be overtaken by it. And it's not even going to be your thoughts. You're thinking that it's your thoughts, but it's actually the power of the numbers of people believing in that thing overtaking your mind, and you think you believe in that, but you don't. It's just because there's so many people that believe in that, and it's actually you contributing to something negative because you're part of this. You're adding energy to it. So whether it's, okay, how do you defeat them? Aaron Doty had a good point where he's saying you can't defeat it. So you have to not be a part of it. So when it comes to anything negative, and we all do it, I do it too. When it comes to anything negative, the more people that are on board with something, you are going to get overtaken unless you ignore it and you detach yourself from it. Not run from it, but just detach. Like, no, that's not for me. I'm just going to move on. No emotion, no like fear. So you're not running away from it, but you're also not a part of it. So now think about the news. That's what the news uses against us. Think of all the people that watch the news and believe in the news. So anything negative, anything, the war in Ukraine, end times, apocalypse, with religions, anything negative. We're in the degenerate age in Buddhism. So anything negative that you believe, where there's thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of other people agreeing with it, it's going to infect your mind, and it's not your own thoughts. You are getting overtaken. You're getting brainwashed because of the power of numbers. The avalanche just overtakes you. You can't fight an avalanche. One person can't fight an avalanche. You have to just go with the avalanche. So, very important. You can believe in your religion, but just detach from the negative aspects, the negative paradigms. For instance, for me, one reason why Buddhism is so much cooler than Christianity and Catholicism is because of sin, original sin. Original sin tells me that I am born dirty and there's nothing I can do about it. Of course, Christians and Catholics will believe in that, but that's not positive. And what is reality? Reality is our thoughts. Our reality is collective thoughts and emotions. So I can choose to be a Christian and not believe in original sin. Now, Christians will think I'm crazy, but just listen to the logic of what I'm telling you. When there's thousands and millions of people believing in something like original sin, if you attach to it, again, I'm going to repeat myself. When you attach to it, you are going to get overtaken and it's going to brainwash you. Okay? Power in numbers. So, you can become Christian, you can be Christian, but don't believe in an original sin. Why? Because, for instance, there's a Buddhist concept, and I'm not saying this is about Buddhism versus Christianity, I'm just making the example. Buddhism says that we have Buddha nature at our core, and we have to undo, and then the more we undo, we get to a more pure self. Now, you say, well, I don't believe in that. But again, reality is what we agree to. So, I choose. I have to customize my reality. I don't have to believe in Christianity 100%. I don't have to believe in Buddhism 100% because I know that thoughts and emotions create our reality collectively. And if there's, like I said, millions of people believing in original sin, if I attach to original sin, it's going to overtake me, and then boom, I'm going to be brainwashed by that. As opposed to agreeing to Christianity's concepts except for the ones that are negative, because that reality I don't want to contribute to and I don't want to fall victim to. All right, I wonder if this makes sense. Peace.